Hi everyone, welcome to our second Chat with a Cam session. My name is Bob and I'm with Florida Cam Courses. Today's subject is going to be running great meetings. Now it doesn't matter whether you're a board member, employee, company owner, or any other kind of business meeting. These rules are going to apply to everybody. So I'd like to give you, a few short tips on this. Today's presentation will last about 7 minutes or so, and once it's over, we're going to take any and all questions. Now I'm joined today by Alicia and Michelle, who will be helping with your questions. All you need to do now that you found us on Facebook is type your question in the comment section on our event page, and we'll answer as many as we can during our time together. So if you're ready, I'm ready, let's get going. As you probably know, a lot of meetings can be unpopular because they take up time, and they usually don't accomplish much sometimes. Usually it's the time of many people that are involved too. So we know about good meetings, but there's plenty of bad meetings. Meetings can be an excellent use of time when they're had a little technical difficulty there. As you know, meetings can be unpopular. I'll try to pick up where we left off. Mostly because they take up a lot of people's time and not much gets done. So there's plenty of good meetings, but let's talk about some of the bad meetings and how we can make them a good use of time when they're really well run. Unfortunately, time-wasting, poorly run meetings are all too common in community associations. So I'd like to give you 6 rules of meeting management that can help make your meetings more productive and less frustrating. Each of the rules require commitment from all participants and should be discussed at the very beginning of the year by all the board members, all the participants that are involved in the meeting, and perhaps even adopt the meeting management premise as a policy. So let's get to rule number 1. Run your meetings as you would have others run the meetings that you attend. This is the most fundamental rule of meeting management. Running an effective meeting or being a good meeting participant is all about being considerate of others. All the other rules of meeting management flow from this principle. Rule number 2, be prepared and ensure that all the participants are as prepared as well. Distribute the meeting agenda as soon as possible, but at least 2 days before the meeting. Even earlier if there's a lot of advanced reading and preparation to do, and make sure everyone has access to all the relevant background information. As a participant of a meeting, of course, you have the obligation of reviewing the agenda and the background material and arriving at the meeting prepared. If the meeting organizer has not provided adequate information about the subjects or the objectives of the meeting, the participants should take the initiative to ask. No one should arrive at a meeting not knowing why they're there and what is supposed to be accomplished while they're there. If there's nothing to put on the agenda, the organizer should ask him or herself whether there really needs to be a meeting in the first place. Rule number 3. Stick to a schedule. Start the meeting on time and end it on time, or even earlier if possible. Starting on time requires discipline by the organizer and all the participants. Arriving late shows a lack of consideration for all those who are on time. But if participants know that the organizer is going to start on time, then there is a much greater likelihood that everyone else will make the effort to be punctual. Of course, the association meetings cannot begin until there's a quorum if you're running a condo or an HOA meeting, but this is more likely when everyone knows what's expected. Finishing in a timely manner is also crucial. Everybody has some place to be and something to do, and nobody wants to miss an appointment. If everyone agreed that the meeting would last an hour, the meeting should not run any longer than that. Keep the agenda as realistic as possible to accomplish what you want to accomplish during that time. If only 20 minutes are required to accomplish the meeting objectives, the meeting should end after only 20 minutes. It'd be a waste of everyone's time to let it go on any longer than that. The time at which a meeting is scheduled is also important. Now, I know a lot of folks like to have meetings in the evenings and stuff, but scheduling regular meetings for inconvenient times, like at the end of the official workday or early in the morning, can have a real negative effect on the morale of your participants and even some of the observers. Emergencies are a reality for most organizations and may necessitate meetings at odd times. But routine meetings should be scheduled at a time that is reasonably convenient for everyone. Number 4. This is going to hit home for some of you, but most groups have at least one person who tends to go off on a tangent and tell irrelevant war stories during the meetings. This is a huge time waster. So whether this person is the organizer or one of the participants, all meeting participants have the responsibility of gently guiding the meeting back to the substantive agenda items. Now we should note, not all storytelling is bad. Storytelling can be very useful if it's being used deliberately as a mentoring tool or teaching tool, or perhaps even for historical purposes. Rule number 5, don't hold unnecessary meetings. Mind blown. Carefully assess how often routine meetings really need to be held. For example, if you're having a monthly board meeting, or perhaps even a daily staff meeting, how productive are they? Can they be held less frequently? Or perhaps you can have a quick meeting standing up someplace and keep it to a few minutes where you actually make a decision and move on. But remember, it has to be posted if you're running an association. Always find the right balance between good communication and productive uses of your time. That's the key here. Rule number 6, wrap up the meetings with a clear statement of what the next steps are and who should take them. If any decisions were made at the meeting, even if the decision was simply to study the issue a little bit more, the meeting organizer should clearly summarize what needs to be done and who's going to do it, either during the meeting or at the very end of the meeting. If the organizer fails to do this, one of the participants, one of the board members, one of the other people at the meeting should take the initiative to speak up and request clarification of the next steps. Now this is crucial. If the participants leave the meeting and no one's accountable for taking action on the decisions that were made, then the meeting will have been a waste of everyone's time. If you're in an association, a condo or an HOA or a co-op board, the community manager will probably be taking notes and will know who's responsible. And in most cases, the community manager will be responsible for carrying out most of the decisions that were made. But it should be in the record, should be clarified. Now these simple rules can go a long way in making meetings more productive, but implementing them is not always easy. They require preparation and discipline by everyone concerned, but doing so can make a huge difference to the productivity of your association meetings. So that's it for tips on running a great meeting. We have a handout for you if you'd like to if you'd like to email customer service at Florida Cam Courses. We'll be happy to send you those 6 tips. We're ready for some of your questions, so feel free to add a comment to our Facebook page, and we'll take your questions as soon as they come in. So far I don't have any. I'll take that as an opportunity to get a sip of water. For those of you that are community managers out there, while we're waiting for a question to come in, don't forget September 30th, your licenses expire if you have not completed your 20 hours of continuing education. Florida Cam Courses will be happy to help you with that, of course. And if you're a board member, your certification, the required certification to be a board member, is valid for 5 years from the date you first took it, if you have not had any disruption in service. So check your certificates. If it's been 5 years or more, you may want to get in on a board certification class. All this information is available on our website at floridacamcourses.com. Everybody must be still asleep because we're not getting any questions, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. We're going to get back together again on September 19th for another live chat with a cam. Our next month's topic will be rules. How do you make them? How do you make them reasonable? And more importantly, how do you enforce them? We'll see you then, 10 o'clock, September 19th. Bye for now.